There's this question that's been going around for a very long time, and I've actually just heard recently. Who put Bella in the wych elm? Now, this question appeared in 1944, but it was based off of an incident in 1943. In 1944, a graffiti appeared all along the buildings of Worcester, England. Now, what really happened? Why did this question appear? Let's find out. Four local boys were poaching in Hagley Wood, part of Hagley Estate near Witchbury Hill, when they came across a large wych elm tree. Thinking the location would be a particularly good place to hunt birds' nests, one of the boys attempted to climb the tree to investigate. As he climbed, he glanced down into the hollow tree trunk and discovered a skull. At first he believed it to be a skull of an animal, but after seeing human hair and teeth, he realized that he found a human skull. As they were on the land illegally, the boys put the skull back, and all four boys returned home without mentioning their discovery to anyone. However, on returning home, the youngest of the boys felt uneasy about what he had witnessed and decided to report the find to his parents. When the police checked the trunk of the tree, they found an almost complete skeleton with a shoe, a gold wedding ring, and some fragments of clothing. The skull was a valuable piece of evidence in that it still had some tufts of hair and a clear dental pattern, despite some missing teeth. After an investigation, the remains of the hand were found some distance from the tree. Now, something I found very disturbing is the hand was found with the gloves still on it. The body was sent for examination by Professor James Webster. He quickly established that the body was of a female who had been dead for at least 18 months. Webster also discovered a section of taffeta in her mouth, suggesting that she died from suffocation. Police could tell from items found with the body that the woman had looked like what the woman had looked like, but with so many people reported missing during the war, there were too many records of missing people for a proper identification to take place. They cross-referenced the details they had with reports of missing people throughout the area, but none of them seemed to match the evidence. In addition, they had contacted dentists all over the country to see if they could identify who this woman was, but they still couldn't find any records of who she was. In 1944, a graffiti message related to the mystery appeared on the wall Upper Dean Street, Birmingham, reading, "Who put Bella down the wych elm? Hagley Wood." This led investigators down several new leads tracing who Bella could have been. Other messages appeared too. Since at least the 1970s, the graffiti has greatly increased and appeared near where the woman's body was discovered, which asks the slightly modified question, who put Bella in the wych elm? Now here are the theories. Theory 1. In a radio program in August 2014, Steve Punt suggested two possible victims. One possible victim was reported to the police in 1944 by a Birmingham prostitute. In the report, she stated that another prostitute called Bella, who worked on Hagley Road, had disappeared about 3 years previously. The name Bella suggested the graffiti artist was probably aware of the identity of the victim or the killer. Theory 2 came from a statement made to police in 1953 by Una Mossop, in which she said that her ex-husband Jack Mossop had confessed to the family members that he and a Dutchman called Von Ralt had put the woman in the tree. Jack and Monroe met for a drink at the Little Arms, a pub in Hagley. With Von Rowe was a Dutch woman. Later that night, Jack said the woman became drunk and passed out while they were driving. The men put her in a hollow tree in the woods and hoped that in the morning she would wake up and be frightened into seeing the error of her ways. Jack Mossop was confined to a Stafford mental hospital because he had reoccurring nightmares of a woman staring at him from a tree. He died in the hospital before the body in the wych elm was found. The likelihood of this being correct explanation is questioned because Una Mossop didn't come forward with the information until more than 10 years after Jack Mossop's death. Theory 3 comes from a declassified file about Joseph Jacobs, the last man to be put to death in the Tower of London in 1941. An opera agent, he parachuted into Cambridgeshire in 1941 but broke his ankle on landing and was soon arrested by the Home Guard. On his person was found a photo purportedly of his lover, a German cabaret singer and an actress named Clara Burrell. Jacob said that she was being trained as a spy and that he had made contact. She may have been sent over to England after him. Unfortunately, there is no evidence that Clara Burrell was parachuted into England. On top of that, Bella was 5 feet tall, and several witnesses say that Clara Burrell was tall, around 6 feet. In September 2016, it was determined that Clara Burrell had died in Berlin, December of 1942. Theory 4. In 1945, Margaret Murray, an anthropologist and an archaeologist from the University College of London, proposed a more radical theory, witchcraft, where the severed hand was consistent with the ritual called the Hand of Glory. After Bella had been killed by the gypsies during an occult ritual, her ideas excited the local press and led investigators to consult another seemingly ritualistic killing of a man, Charles Walton, in nearby Lower Quinton. And the final theory, Theory 5. In 1953, another theory surfaced, namely that Bella was a Dutch woman named Clarabella Dronkers, killed by a German spy ring consisting of a British officer, a Dutchman, and a music hall artist, for knowing too much. However, available records and evidence were unable to support the story. Now, who do you think Bella is? Why was she killed? Was she really a spy that knew too much, or was she killed because of suspected witchcraft? We'll never know. Thanks for watching, guys.